Hello everybody and welcome to my Formula 1 career mode. There's a brand new episode at the German Grand Prix. This one's been a long time in waiting, but this will be an episode well worth your time. As you could see in practice I was in 8th position, but now we move on quickly to our qualifying. I struggled through that first few set of corners there, up into 5th gear now, pushing as hard as I can. This is just my opening lap, the practice like the first lap for my Q1 I should say, and I'm slightly up on the knockout zone time I need, turning hard into that corner as well, and down in 4th gear here as well, nearly kissing the curb as I go by. I'm well up on my own time here, but whether I can beat Massa's time to get out is the question as I head into the final chicane here. Getting very late braking, bouncing the curb as hard as I can and sliding to the left, but I'm able to counter steer. And now final corner approaches. I do very well at the apex there, accelerate hard into the last corner. The video's skipping a little bit, but the audio should be okay as I'm using my new mic, and I'm up into 11th place now, just ahead of my teammate. And that was not the way it stayed, but I was well and truly through into Q2 with 11th place for Maldonado. We now advance to the second qualifying session, where I'm 14th after this lap. It was good enough, but I want to do better. I fancied taking Alonso down a peg, and now we advance to the first sector, where I post a time of it was very close. It was a 30.7 I think, and here's Sergio Perez to get in my way. That's not convenient whatsoever, but we live and let die, and we move on to sector 2 again, the very tough chicane, nearly going wide. I try and take it in 5th gear this time, which is all good. And now look at this, I'm actually up. I'm up on Alonso's time. This could be a sensational lap, and I head into the braking zone, braking at 75 meters. Oof, that's as borderline as it gets. And now I'm pushing for the final corner. I've got to take it well again. I'm low on fuel, last chance for this run, and it's going to be a good one. It's 1:33.9, so close, and I have to save my fuel and go back to the pits. And now it's 12th place for me. Alonso and Hulkenberg have stayed ahead of me now, and I really would love to get into Q3 for the first time. Just 30 seconds to go. I'm up on my own personal best, but whether I can beat Hulkenberg's another question. And so now I'm pushing hard as I can down the hill and through the flat out chicane. You've yet to see this footage through that corner, but very beautiful I thought. And now the time limit is up. Braking hard again, much cleaner through there, and 5th gear, nearly going wide in fact. Woohoo! And I'm actually up on my personal best again, half a second. That's what I need to get out of this session. And now I'm going to try and brake as late as I can again, a little early this time, but it's nice and smooth after kissing the curb. And here we go, pushing nice and hard once again, and there we go. I didn't hit the wall, thank goodness. Flat out as best I can. I shift up a little early and that could have cost me, but I've beaten the championship leader Alonso to 11th place. I have a phenomenal effort, but Hulkenberg was just way too far in front. But Lewis Hamilton spoiled the party for Vettel there, getting pole position in Q2. But he'll have to do it again in Q3 as I celebrate with my team. I just love the guy sweeping there. It's just so random but hilarious in its own way. But there we go, it's time for the Grand Prix, and it's pissing with rain, would you believe it? 100% rain for this Grand Prix, but it is a German 1-2 after all. Vettel and Rosberg ahead of Hamilton and Webber and Massa, completing the top 5, so it's absolutely drenched, and I have every chance of doing very well in this race if I stay calm. 3 lights, 4 and 5, and it's go, go, go! The German Grand Prix, the first fully wet race is underway. And a bad start there. I'm beaten off the line by Alonso. He's got the superior traction. I can see the Force Indians on the inside as well. I brake early to try and find my space because the rain is so, so blinding. There I go. I'm past Perez. Perez off to a terrible start. Alonso blocking me on the inside. And there we go. You can see how hard I have to, concentrate to not slide. Alonso trying to beat Hulkenberg. I'm on his inside. Can I get him on his outside now? No, I decided against that brake early. But now he's got a poor getaway, and I have him on the outside. He pushes me as close to the grass as he can, and I'm surely through. No, I've kissed the grass on wide, but I've held on. I'm on the Astro, and I'm trying to defend now from the Force India on the inside, and I've done it. So there we go. I've lost a position to Alonso, but it's damage limitation perfection, pretty much, as I haven't lost too much more. I haven't lost much more time, and now I am actually going to start sliding away from the others. But Maldonado is up to 13th. Great news for Williams. Any potential mistake will be exploited, and he's going to look at me now on my outside. I block him as fairly as possible, and I nearly lost grip. But now there's a car wide. It's Button, who had a nightmare Canadian Grand Prix, if you remember, and I'm through to 11th again, so I haven't lost any positions in the first lap, which is definitely worth noting. But I've already fallen 2 seconds behind Fernando, and he is going to be charging up the grid, I'm sure, as he tries to beat Hulkenberg to the inside line. Excuse me. Yeah, so now that is lap 1 complete. It's pretty much a 2-minute lap in these appalling conditions, and I have to get the tyres as warm as I can for the sake of basically my sanity. I don't want to be slipping and sliding out every single lap, and that completes the third lap as well. We're going to conclude now as Alonso finds his way past Nico Hulkenberg, and I'm trying my best to keep up with him. I have gained a bit of time, but it's not to be. He will resume his duties and stay in front as Hamilton puts in the new fastest lap, which is about 4 seconds ahead of me, which is pretty disheartening, but I have to get on with my job. So Maldonado doing his best to keep within a second of me, but that's pretty much it for this lap. Yeah, so it's getting tougher and tougher, but the cars are starting to pull away from me. It's lap 7 now, and Pastor Maldonado has exploited sort of my tentativeness, but I blocked the inside line. Hamilton again going fastest on this lap. But now, bad news, as Sutil has overtaken my teammate. Fair and square, I should add. But now I'm under more pressure, since Maldonado probably want to help rather than hinder my progress. And now Sutil is going to get a bit of slipstream. There's not a lot available to him, but I will block the outside line. I don't fancy him diving down the inside. I was nearly wrong, but he doesn't decide to go after me after all. So now I can try and catch up to his teammate Paul di Resta and maybe get a wonderful point, but it will be a long task because the pit stops will be on lap 10. I made a minor error there, and yeah, just deep breaths, gotta keep going, no mistakes, and I've pulled nicely away. You can see there I got a good piece of drag, and I'll carry on into sector 1, just 5.5 seconds behind di Resta, just to let you know. And that's pretty much the end of this highlight. We move on swiftly to the beginning of lap 10. There's more traffic behind me with Sutil leading the train. He's gone after me again. My rear tyres have been torn up to shreds. I have to concentrate, and he's going to go with my outside this time, and I use the pit lane marker to guide me through the corner safely. Now Pastor Maldonado could help me distract Sutil briefly, but it's not going to be. I continue to try my best. I missed the apex there. Sliding. Oh, mistake there. Sutil very nearly caught me. And now he's just looking everywhere, left, right, centre, and just any way to get past me when I have shot and torn up tyres. No way past through there. And again I defend my line. So he is trying to overtake me with his full revs. I head now to the hairpin. Still difficult, but there's a huge traffic line now. You can see it's nearly 7 cars. We quickly fast forward to the end of the lap, and it's Maldonado through. Maldonado's back past, and that could be the lifeline I needed. Williams will be desperate for points. Green flag conditions. I don't know what happened behind me, but it certainly was problems for Sutil. Maldonado, though, has the aggressive tendencies, and he wanted to take me on the outside, but I wouldn't let him. And now I must enter the pits. Wow, that was close. I've slid. Oh, I've hit Maldonado, but I got away with it, thank goodness. A huge sigh of relief. I kissed the grass again, and incredibly I got away with it. So whatever you do, just don't turn into your pit box too soon, or else that's going to happen. And I was very lucky to get away with it. We have a McLaren pit behind me, as well as the Force India, so pressure's on. We need to beat those McLarens and Force Indias. It is Button and Verne as well pitting. So I emerge in 16th position. My old friend Guido van der Garde is going to possibly make my life a nightmare again after I hit him in Canada. He is through cleanly, and I need to find the way past the Caterham to avoid being held up, since I need that undercut as we head now to lap 11. There we go, there's the dive down the inside. Contact made, but I'm safely through. No penalty and no danger to anyone else. So here's to that now. Taking the final chicane once more. That was just inch perfect. Could have been anything. Sergio Perez is the nearest guy in front of me. You can see the orange dot representing Maldonado is in the pits. I stand a good chance of beating him, but where is he going to emerge? Can he stay ahead of his opponents? He can. He has beaten everyone else, and I'll beat him as well. So I take back my 11th place using the rich fuel mix, and it is a good good job well done by Williams to keep our positions. And I have a slight lead over Maldonado, just to confirm. How long can I stay ahead? That is the question. A bit of understeer didn't help me or my cause, to be honest. Now there's your answers. Jenson Button on my tail. He is broken free of the pack. He has also used the undercut to his advantage, and he will most likely use his superior McLaren to edge past me, but I have to block him by taking a little shortcut over the sponsorship board, and I will resume my duties in 11th at the start of the 14th lap, and I have to go back into rich fuel mode to stand a chance against Mercedes Power. Will he go inside, outside? He's going to try stay in the middle of the track, but it didn't work. I hit the bollard there, the loose bollard, and I resume once more unscathed, despite if that was real life I certainly would have taken damage. Now it's lap 15. Button is again the only opponent anywhere close to me. The rest has pulled out a 12.5 second lead over me, and I blocked the inside again as we head to past the halfway mark, where I can finally tell you the ranking. It's Hamilton, Vettel, Rosberg, Alonso, Webber, Raikkonen, Massa, Grosjean, Hulkenberg and Di Resta in the top 10. Maldonado in 13th, which is pretty decent, as that's his new number for the upcoming season. And now yet again I'm under pressure from Jenson Button. He hasn't found a way past, but maybe he's taking his chance here. No, again I use the inside. Ooh, slippy stuff there. I decide to block the inside, and Jenson Button might have the advantage here. No, not quite. Oof, it's getting very intense. Button loses a little bit of time, but he will get a drag out of me. Maldonado's starting to catch up. I need his help, as my tyres are starting to wear once again, as I have the two-stop strategy on laps 10 and 20. Now you can see Maldonado definitely gained time, but I have to stay vigilant. Oh, you can see that's why. Another slide, and just more headaches as I try my very best to stay on the road. There you go, good blocking from me, but Button will try again. Here's lap 18. He's got yet more of a chance to beat me on the inside, but I block and again use the inside line. So that's interesting now. Lots of cars have caught up as I've held Button up for nearly the entire second stint, and braking once more into that corner, and away we go. Button had a good drive. I think his engine was definitely hitting the limiter. He's got the inside line. Will he go for it? No. You've got to stay conservative, and I'm pushing as hard as I can. Fourth gear, very extreme for these conditions, and it just gets harder and harder. But now I've gotten a bit of a gap. I take notice and I'm away, but it doesn't last at all long. He's just so much faster than me in these conditions. And again, it's another inside line. Yeah, whoa, look at that. Oh, so loose, and Button will surely get me this time. He's pretty much on the edge of my mirror, barely anywhere to see him. And again, I've held on, but I really need to get into the pits as soon as I can. And I continue to put in 148s, pretty much not the best I can do. But now I've lost the recording, and Button again goes on my outside. He's got the drive. And Perez is there as well. Sergio Perez has overtaken Maldonado. Here's Button on my outside. Neck and neck across the line. Can you get me this time? Braking as late as I can. No, I've held it again, but now I've got two McLarens to deal with. Maldonado down to 14th. Button incredibly hasn't overtaken me. I don't know how I've survived. Braking, trying to stay in the middle of the track to take this inside line. The sliding is unbearable. I've gotten away, but not for much more than Button. I've lost the bad traction. I've lost all traction. My gear shift was poor. Button has made his way through. I go back down the inside. Is it enough? I have the line, but again I lack the grip, and Button finally beats me at the worst possible moment. My visibility is now 0 as I'm stuck in his spray. And now I'm in trouble. Button will surely get away in time for the pit stops. The grip is nullified. Sergio Perez wants me on the outside in the flat out chicane. He's not going to get it. This is a wet setup, by the way. I've neglected to mention that I gambled in qualifying with a wet setup. And this is what's happened. It has paid off, but it's not quite the difference between wet and dry. Now I've hit the grass a little bit. Run it over. Perez will go for the outside line. Maldonado's there as well. Perez doesn't know what to do if he doesn't take his eye off Maldonado. But now I can finally pit in peace. Perez will get superior drive as I take the pit entry line much safer than last time. I don't want to be spinning out at a crucial time. And now I run into the pits, kissing the curbs again. Running, I need to get my thesaurus out. I keep saying kissing, and now I'm down to lean mix for the brief moment I'm in the pits. And I come out after a 3.06 second stop behind Button, but ahead of Jean-Eric Vergne. So can I gain my places back? Will Perez use the undercut sufficiently? So we're heading into lap 22. We'll find out those answers very soon. But Button has pretty much gotten away from me. It's just the AI. Once they get the gap, they will exploit it, and I had no chance of beating Button. But can I beat Perez as I accelerate as hard as I can, using as much curves? Here you go, across the line for lap 22. There we are there. There's Maldonado, but Perez is ahead. He's clearly ahead, and I'm down to unlucky 13th. A real disappointment to be relegated another position by a McLaren. But that's the way. I was on the rich to give me some sort of hope. Perez is away, and I think that those are my chances gone, as Vettel, the potential winner of this Grand Prix, crossed the line with a new fastest lap. The times are tumbling as the race and the fuel pretty much runs out of laps. So yeah, that's the way. Now let's take a look at these standings. It is Vettel in the lead, ahead of Hamilton and Rosberg, with Alonso doing a fantastic job to get up to 4th place. And then you can see everyone else has survived the race. It is Max Chilton at the back of the grid, but he's still going. But now I have blue flag warnings as I start to get my shot on the TV, as I need to let Vettel past. And there he goes. That's how you do it without losing too much time. Just try and accelerate halfway up the gear and then let the other driver pass, and you're okay. But now it is the Mercedes of Hamilton who needs blue flag assistance. And here we go again on the back straight, across the line, and that's pretty much that done. Hamilton doing his best to catch up, but you can see now I'm a long way behind Perez, nearly 17 seconds. It just got too tough. I was exhausted at this stage, and I just had to stay ahead of Sutil, which was pretty simple as long as I stayed on the road, and I would go on to do that, as you will see in just a few seconds now. I kind of left too many highlights in fairness, a lot of outstretched footage, but we're now going to enjoy this final highlight, which is crossing the line. It is Sebastian Vettel who wins the German Grand Prix, just like he did last year. Will he be doing it again in next season? We'll have to find that out. But I am across the line, very tired, but very pleased with 13th. It is the very best I could have done, but I will have to try and find the points somewhere. They're not going to win themselves, and no change in my championship bid, but it is a victory for Red Bull for probably only the second time. I don't think he's won any races in my game this season. It's either the first or the second time, but there you go. It's a Red Bull and Mercedes podium, Alonso coming in 4th and Webber in 5th position. I've beaten my teammate again, Sutil, the meat in our Williams sandwich, and Caterham beating Russia fair and square. We now look at the Drivers' Championship. Alonso's lead is cut down to just 9 points. Sebastian Vettel overtakes Rosberg, and I remain in 15th position behind Charles Pic, and that leaves us 9th in the championship. Force India again another point on us, so we need a superhuman performance if we're going to finish anywhere above 8th, and I do rank up to level 3 with level 4 3,758 points away. So there we go. The race is over. We head to the Hungaroring for the next race, which is bound to be wet according to the statistics. I am dominating Maldonado in the teammate battle, which as a consequence has awarded me equal status, so upwards and beyond really. I've done very well to earn equal status, but hopefully I'll become the number 1, so I can see the pretty much the R&D for our team, despite the games telling me, I'm doing badly. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.